Yes, so it was a year of rebirth for me, because of the medication that I was on. There'll be moments where I'll just slump, maybe in the middle of work or something, and I'll just fall and I'll get up and I'll be so lost. Like, how did I get here, right? That was just a lot. And I had to, unlearn some things, pick up new things. And right when it was about time for service, now here came another fear, because now my family, everybody is feeling like, okay, Faith is not ready. But then my psychologist was like, no, she's ready. That's 2024. And so me, at some point, even though I was so sure of my healing, because of their fear now, it started rubbing off me, because I started doubting my own healing. I started doubting, forgetting that, okay, the voice that I used to hear, the voice that I often listened to was no longer there. The things that led to that episode, gone. So I'm absolutely and perfectly okay. So I agreed with the psychologist, and it was time, this was my first time leaving home ever. Going, like, I've traveled, yes, but like leaving home for a long period of time. This was the first time. So it was a lot for me. And now there's that fear of going there and then breaking down or something happening. So I had to be careful too. And as much as, yes, I'm healed, I'm fine, but I still was my own doctor there. That's why I had to also serve somewhere. That's at Jalingo. I had to serve somewhere close to Yola so that I could be coming back for my medical checkup. So service here was quite a challenge. It was challenging, but at the same time, it has helped stretch me, in ways more than one. And I've met amazing people. I've met people that took out their time to understand me, people that took out their time to be very patient, to learn me, just to better understand me and also understand the whole situation, so that when they meet people with similar experiences, they'll be able to relate with them and help them. And as the Lord would have it, I ended up serving, my PPA was at a broadcasting station, which for me was just divine alignment, because it had nothing to do with any networking, somebody knowing somebody there. No, it had nothing to do with that. And so I was in the programs department. They gave me my own program. They were like, you can come on whatever it is that you want. And of course, I came up with mental illness, and they were so appreciative of it. They welcomed it, and it was so amazing. Even when I was leaving, they were giving their tips. It was so beautiful, and refreshing to meet people that, even though it's the first time they were meeting me, they didn't even think, oh, okay, maybe this girl could be lying, because, okay, couples have been, bringing up excuses upon excuses. So this might, in as much as it's new, okay, mental illness, it's not. A lot of times you hear people that are so aware of the whole situation. So they're very lenient and very understanding people. And of course, I've met people too who stigmatized me and because of stereotypes. So it's now like, okay, this girl, and some were now like, okay, maybe it's just me saying it's just like me being ajebo and really just not wanting to take up strenuous activities. So some people were not all that nice, but I guess people always be people. But I think at the end of the day, even I was there at the point where I wasn't really very understanding of the whole mental illness thing. But that's why sometimes you experience something, so that shows you how real it is. But I didn't need to get here or there to understand people. We should always learn to be kind to people, learn to hear people, like listen, actively listen, and understand them to best relate with them, and also best meet them where they're at. So it was really amazing. And then I came back from service, and now I'm back to being active in church and doing the things that I love doing. So even that in itself, like, is quite worrisome for my family at some point. Now they're more, comfortable, I would like to believe, with the whole idea. If anything, maybe it's the late nights now that they're worried about, but not really about me actively being involved in church. But that still brought up that fear of, okay, maybe I'm not healed. And the fact that I'm still very much on medication to, 2023, here we are 2025, and I'm still on medication, although my dose has been reduced drastically even, because I started with like 5 medicines, antidepressants, psychotic medications. But currently I'm just on mood stabilizers and also on alternate doses. So meaning I could take today, miss tomorrow. Basically advised to take like 3 times in a week, but I've missed like I think even 2 weeks without. That's the furthest though. That's one time. But that in itself too was advised. So because I'm being weaned off the medicine. So it was a lot for me at some point. And even when I went for my last medical checkup, I was actually quite worried. And I was just thinking, when would I be taking off this medication? But I got to a point of, you know what, Faith, being taken off the medication or not, you're healed. Even if you're made to stay on the medication for the rest of your life, you're just taking it for them, for their sake, for them to believe until they catch up that, okay, you're actually fine and take your but until then, it's fine. They can leave you on the medication. But going for the checkup now, I met with this psychiatrist whom she has been on board from the onset, but we've never had a one-on-one interaction until what month was that now? April, May, June, July, yes. That's my last visitation to the hospital. And so when I met her and she was going through my records and she was still, I was speaking while she was doing that. And she was like, Faith, do you know, I'm actually surprised and amazed that you're just on one medication, and the fact that it's also an alternate dose and you only take it at night. It's just amazing. And she also told me that many people that we've started this together, I don't know, like I know them, but she was just saying, as the doctor that sees all these cases, like these people are still very much on medication. None of them are responding to treatment. Medicines are being added to their dosage, and it's just a lot. But here I am with just one medicine, and they're pretty much weaning me off, and I've only had one episode. So she explained to me how like they've categorized mentally ill people in 4 categories. That's 100%, 25, 25, 25, 25. And I happen to be in the first 25 that just experienced one episode, and that's it. And even if you take me off my medication, I'm absolutely fine, live normal, and everything goes well. So it was a beautiful realization for me, because I'm like, what are the odds? Me thinking, okay, I'm still being tagged as not well, that fear of a relapse, but here's a doctor, a professional, telling me that I'm sort of a medical miracle, So it was a blessing. It helped me count my blessings. It helped me be grateful for the progress I've made, because I've come a long way. Sometimes when I think of some delusions I had and some experience like physical pain, physical trauma, sleepless nights, it was a lot for me. I've lost friends in that span, because for some, I'm sure maybe up until maybe they see this, for some it might be like, okay, Faith, just stop contact because, okay, now we're done with uni, life goes on. So, but it was none of that. My phone had to be taken from me so that I don't write things I would regret, because if you weren't with me, you didn't even know what was going on. So it could seem a lot. I could overshare something, or I could say something quite weird about spirits and whatnot. So I just had to be monitored for a while. And so coming back, it felt new now to reach out to certain friends. So I just let things be, I just let it be a thing of, okay, if this person comes, why not? Because I was recovering. So investing energy, whereas I am in a state of not even knowing what was up, was a lot. So it was just best to stay put, and then whoever is involved at the end of the day. So I'm really also thankful to the friends that did stick, and the friends that are still in contact, and the new ones that I've made. Life has been beautiful, nothing short of a miracle and nothing short of a blessing. I've come a long way, and for me it's going to be, it's going to be better from now moving forward. And I'm sharing this with you to know that in that moment of pain, in that moment of darkness, it didn't look as though I was going to get better. In that moment, it didn't look like I was going to be able to walk properly, be able to love the things that I do. Some things changed, like my favorite color, but I had to give myself grace. I have to be gentle with myself. I had to tell myself faith is okay. Sometimes people don't even understand how uncomfortable growth is, in the sense of you love this version of yourself, but you can't even recall the version of yourself. So there's that grieving. It's like losing a loved one, losing yourself. So you have to become this new person. So to become a new person too was overwhelming, because then where do I start from? But then I thank God for the family that reminded me of who I was, and I thank God for me too for embracing everything. And so yes, I'm starting this thing, right, where I'll be sharing my email address, so you could be sharing your stories with us. Of course, you'll be kept anonymous, and that is so that we encourage other people. Stories like this are meant to encourage people seek the help they need, and for also that knowing of you not being alone, because that's just the thing some of us need, that care, that love, that relatable story to make them understand that okay, I'm not alone, so I'm seen, and these are my people. So this is just like a community. So I would love if you could, share your story, or somebody's story, someone's experience. Would keep you anonymous and just share, and that would also help with future conversations. And over time, of course, we'll have professionals or other people just come on here, share their stories, share what they can with, us and with you, and we just grow and build our nest. So yes, this was my story, and this was and still remain the Healing Nest. See you next time.